What's up guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Sam and today's video is going to be a backlist romance book recommendation. This is also a collab with my friend Cheyenne from That Tall Book Girl, so make sure you follow her. I'm sure if you are on my channel, you already follow Cheyenne, but if not, go and subscribe and watch her video. I have 5 backlist romance books that if you have not read yet, what are you doing? Please go read them. All of these were published in 2019 or before. So the first book that I'm going to kick off this video with is one that I talked about in a recent wrap up, and it is none other than an Emma Scott book. Okay, I had to start this off with an Emma Scott book because this woman deserves more hype. She does. And I recently read this book and absolutely loved it. I don't know why it took me so long to read it. So this is The Butterfly Project. And in this book, we are following Zelda and Beckett. Now, Zelda is an aspiring graphic novelist. She has been trying to write this novel and get this novel published for quite some time, but she's just not making any headway with it. This graphic novel is about a story that is very, very close to her heart. It is very personal to her, and she has moved to New York from Vegas recently to try and just fulfill her dreams. But again, she is running into roadblock after roadblock. And about the time that she is ready to give up her dream and move back to Vegas, she ends up meeting Beckett at a restaurant where Beckett works at. And these two hit it off right away. They have a connection, and Beckett basically tells her, like, what are you doing? Like, fulfill your dreams. Why would you, give up on that? And so Zelda decides to stay, but she doesn't have a place to live. And Beckett has been in her mind. She's like, I think he's a good guy. I think if I went to him and told him that I needed a place to stay, that he would let me stay with him. Now, Beckett is going through some things of his own. He is an ex-con, and he is also struggling to make ends meet. So he could use a roommate to help him out a little bit. So he does decide to let Zelda stay with him, and these two become such good friends, but they also fall for one another in the most beautiful, authentic way. And the more you learn about Beckett, the more you love him. He is just such a good guy, a genuinely good guy. And these two find just so much healing in each other and so much happiness and acceptance and love in each other. I adored this book so much. And you all know, Emma Scott is my girl. If you want just a good, really deep romance, emotional romance, you have to read an Emma Scott book. Pick one up, please. So the next book that I have to recommend to you guys, if you all have been on my channel for quite a while, you would know that me and this author, we don't really jive, okay? But this is one of her books that I absolutely love, and I am in the minority with this one. The Kiss Thief by L.J. Shen. I know people do not like this book. I loved this book. So in this book, we are following Francesca, or if I'm remembering correctly, I think she goes by Frankie. Now, Frankie is the daughter of the boss of the Chicago outfit. And so she knows that her father will have nothing less but the best husband for her. But Frankie has always had her sights set on one man, and she's determined to marry him. Well, in comes Wolf. Now, Wolf is a senator, and he's the kind of guy that you love to hate, okay? He is just not a very nice man. He does not take no for an answer. He gets what he wants in any way that he has to. He's going to get what he wants. Now, I believe that Frankie's dad is having a party of some sort. I want to say it's like a masquerade party. And on this night, Frankie is determined that she is going to have her first kiss with this man that she thinks she is going to marry, the man that she thinks she's in love with. Well, in comes Wolf with, plans of his own, and he decides to steal that kiss away from Francesca. He decides he's going to be her first kiss. And people catch their first kiss, therefore they have to get married. So this is an arranged marriage, very much an enemies to lovers. She's very mad at him, and even Wolf, though he set all this up, he's still a little reluctant. He's very wary of Frankie, but the more that he's around her, the more that he learns that there is more to her, and Frankie becomes Wolf's crutch. He really does fall in love with her, and like I said, Wolf is a hard guy to like. He really is. But I don't know. There was just something about him and something about this book that I really enjoyed. I actually want to reread this one because I really liked it. Like, I was hanging on to every page. I think I read this in one sitting. It was just super entertaining to me. I really enjoyed this one. So the next book that I have to recommend to you guys is Coldhearted Boss by R.S. Gray. Now in this book we are following Taylor and Ethan. Now Taylor is a 22-year-old. She is struggling to make ends meet for her family. She's working all these odd jobs and she's still just coming up short. When her cousin tells her about a construction site that is setting up about an hour away from her, it is like an on-site job where you have to like live in sort of barracks or these cabins. She decides that she's, you know what, I can do this. I can go and work for a construction company. So she goes and applies, and to her shock, she does end up getting a job, but it is as a personal assistant to Ethan, who is her boss. And they also hooked up in a bar bathroom. So things are very awkward, but these two have so much chemistry. There is such good banter. This also is a hate to love, enemies to lovers romance. Very kind of forced proximity as well, because Taylor has to stay in the same cabin with Ethan because he doesn't want her out with the other guys. So she is staying with him, and they both try to do things to like get under each other's skin and annoy each other. But all that sort of like back and forth turns into more. And this was just so much fun. R.S. Gray, she is known for her rom-coms, and this is no exception. Like, she knocked it out of the park with this one. I had such a good time while reading it. And the romance in here was actually really good too. The epilogue, I loved it. So the next book that I have to recommend to you guys, I have talked about this quite a bit on my channel. I believe it made it into a favorites video at one point. My Life in Shambles by Karina, Halle. Now I'm going to butcher the hero's name because this is set in Ireland and his name is Padraig. Someone corrected me once and I forget how to say it, so I am terribly sorry for butchering that. He is our hero, and then we have Valerie, who is our heroine. Now, Valerie decides that she is going to go to Ireland with her sisters after she's just had some bad luck. I believe her boyfriend has just broken up with her. She's lost her job. She just doesn't really know what to do with her life. So she goes to Ireland with her sisters, and there she meets Padraig at a pub one night. They hit it off right away. She goes to his house. They hook up. And then I think it's the next morning when she's about to leave, he asks her for a huge favor. Padraig has to go back home to his very small town, and he needs to sort of get his family off his back. His father is not doing well. He is afraid that he's going to die, and he wants to have his father know before he passes, like, hey, I'm going to be okay. I'm doing something with my life. I'm all right. Padraig is a rugby player, and he has more going on than what meets the eye. And so he asks Valerie to go back home with him and pretend to be his fiance. Valerie's like, I need to think about this. So she goes back to the hotel where her sisters are staying, and they're like, what are you doing? Like, what do you have to lose? Just go have fun. You know, something could come of this. You never know, but like, go see. So she goes and spends some time with Padraig and his entire family, and she falls in love with not only Padraig, but his family and this town that they live in. And I just loved how she was so willing to do whatever for Padraig. She wanted what was best for him, and I need more people to read this book. Okay, please just read this. I still think about this book to this day, and I believe I read this back in 2020, maybe even 2021. This was, I think, released in 2019-ish, but it took me a little bit to get to it, and I regret that because this was so freaking good. So the last book that I'm going to talk about in this video is a bit of a darker romance. We have Monster in His Eyes by J.M. Darhower. This is an age gap mafia romance book. We are following Ignacio, or Naz, and Carissa. Now, Carissa is a freshman in college. She is living her best life. Naz is, I forget what he does in the mafia. I want to say he might be like the enforcer, possibly. I don't remember. It's been quite a while since I've read this book. I know that he is like big man in the mafia world, okay? Now, Carissa and Nas meet one day when I believe Carissa is, I think she's staying after class to speak with her professor, and Nas comes in, and she is immediately intrigued by this man. She can tell that there's like something different about him. She doesn't believe that he is a professor at the school. If so, she's like, I've never seen you before, but like, I want to see more of you. And Nas, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to give anything away, but like, does he know who Carissa is? Is there a reason why he is also intrigued by her? A reason why he starts to show interest in her? I don't know. And by the time that Carissa finds out what his plans are, what he knows, what he doesn't know, it's too late for her. She's already in love with him. She has already been swept into his web, and she can't get out. I had a lot of fun with this book. It definitely kept me on the edge of my seat. And this is the first in, I believe, a trilogy. Yeah. Yes, a trilogy. And I think the last book definitely ends a different way than you think it's going to, and that a lot of other mafia romances end. At least at the time that I read this, I hadn't read anything really like it. So I remember just absolutely like, I need all of these books. I need to read them. And you know what? They're all available to you now. So you can just binge this whole trilogy and have fun with it, because I sure did. So those are all of the backlist romances that I have to recommend to you today. If you have made it to this point in the video and you'd like to let me know, leave me a blue heart in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.